Get your money, don't care who judge. Stay out the way, surround yourself with nothing but love. Stay out the way, if you a gangster, killer or thug. Stay out the way, put your faith in the man above. Stay out the way, chill with your family, siblings and blood. Stay out the way, kick it with your girl, forget hit in the club. Stay out the way, mind on your money, ain't no switching it up. Stay out the way, stand out the way, what you thought that it was. Stay out the way. If you stuck down on your luck, not feeling righteous, did a petty crime, just looking for some excitement. Now your name on affidavits and court indictments, get paid for a lot, but your freedom is priceless. You did the crime, you do the time, don't let it surprise you. Real stories from the heart, just to open your eyes up.
Part 3, gang, y'all, let's get it, y'all. Part 3, like, just subscribe to y'all. Let's get it. Let's go. Crazy. I was like, keep it real, bro. You go to dude over there for the hottest chicken? He was like, did that little smile again. I was like, bro, answer the question, yes or no? He was like, I mean, you know, I was buying for all of us. I said, like how you was trying to buy for me, for all of them, right? He said, yeah, you know, we needed a lot, man. You know, like, bro, I do 50 blocks. I put 150 block in my pipe, and I go like that. And, you know, I probably get 8 pulls, you know, like, well, you know, like that. I need big blocks. Like, that's how I like to go. So, you know, I was buying for everybody, and, you know, I said, well, listen, though, I don't care about none of that, white boy Rob. I said, all I want to know is if I'm going to get my money next week. I said, next week, right? He was like, yeah. I said, man, real talk, man. I said, this situation I'm bringing right now, this going to have anything to do with me getting my play, man. Answer my question, yes or no, man. He was like, nah, man, it's not, man. I promise you, man, I'm going to pay, man. I'm going to pay you and I'm going to pay him. You know, like, you know, my people's like, they never throw me out there, leave me out back, you know, very rare. You know, one time me and him had a little hiccup. You know, it took an extra week, but he paid me. But, you know, like, you want your money from when you get your word from these dudes. Because if you go get my stuff, you got to go to your peoples and be like, yo, look, when you going to have the money for me? And your peoples got to keep it a band because your butt is on the line, man. So, like, this is like togetherness type of work, man. So, like, your word is what I'm going to be looking for. So an extra week is going to make me feel unhappy. So I don't be trying to, like, hear another week or nothing like that, y'all. I'm being honest, man. So he like, yeah, we had that one little hiccup. I was like, yeah. But like, what's up with the day though? Like, what's up with this right now though? Like, how this gonna be? He was like, listen, man, everything's gonna be good. You know, I'm gonna pay everybody. You know what I mean? I was like, look, man, don't go in no more debt, man. I said, real talk, because right now you in the hole for over a band. I done heard what you old dude. I said, you in the hole for over a band right now, right, boy, Rob? I said, man, have my 500, man. And he was like, what you mad at me for? I was like, listen, I'm not mad at you, man. I just, you know, like, for real, I'm thinking, he was like, what do you mean? Like, I'm freaking partying, man. Like, and when he said that, that's what brought me back to reality of how you got to hustle in penitentiary. Like, this is stupid, man. Like, for real, this dude make you want to be like, you know what? I'm going to hold on to my rocks till somebody do pop up with the money up front, man. Like, that's how you got to carry these people. Like, it's like, the way we hustling is like, we trying to take the shortcut and get the money and do this. But like, if you that type of guy that's going to sit, I really think the fiends ain't gonna buy it from you, y'all. So boom. So this is why you gotta bubble like this, man. But when he said what he said, I was like, man, this is wild, man. Like, I ain't, you know what I mean? I'm like, yo, bro, listen, man, you right, man. And I peeled off, man. Like, I ain't want to get too mad at him because he owed me this much money. And he always pay me and I want my money. But still, though, man, like, that jump right there threw me off, man. So I wasn't even tripping, though, man. I went to holler at my homeboy. He had a little bit of wine. I'm talking to him. My old homeboy told me to come outside, the one that told me about the situation that when we went to Child. He out there, he had a drink or two, and we was just kicking and hitting the feezy. And he was just telling me, like, yo, bro, like, man, he gonna pay you, man. He was like, it's because he your dude. You know what I mean? He was like, but you for real, he was like, the person that really got this joint tangled is your man that got the joint. He was like, because you asked him about who. I was like, yeah. I was like, yeah, bro, I asked him, you know what I mean? He was like, that's what you should holler at. So as he was saying that, I looked and I seen Mike across the yard. He was talking to some dudes on the other side of the yard at the fence where I told y'all right there when we come out the child hall, the fence separate. He was talking to some dudes leaving the child hall from the other side. So I was like, let's walk down here. So me and bro walked down there. And I said, Mike, let me holler at you, man. He was like, hey, hold on. He peeled off. He pulled up while I was there. He was like, what's up? I was like, hey, look, man. I said, bro, why you? I said, look, this is your business and all. I said, the reason I bring this to you is because it kind of messed up what I had going on slightly. I said, now, I ain't saying it's like over with, but like, I was like, if I knew what was going on, then this wouldn't have probably happened. He was like, what's up, Weezy? I was like, look, I said, the white boy Rob owed me some money, man. So then I found out from my homeboy, that's the 31 part, that white boy Rob or another dude over there from the man, some money too, man, kind of like the same amount that he owed me. He was like, for real? I was like, yeah, bro. And you know, he said he got the same Holly's chicken I got. I said, when I asked you what was you doing with the Holly's chicken, you told me that, you know what I mean, you sent it to the other side of the yard. He had a face like, I mean, yeah, you right, Weezy, man. I was lit, bro. I don't know why I lied, bro. I said, what you mean, bro? Like, I said, I mean, it's your stuff. I said, I won't come in like I was threatening you, like, oh, who got, you know, what's up, bro? I ain't come like that. I said, I just was trying to see what was going on. I said, because, you know, when we hustling the way we hustling, it's like you got to know kind of what's going on, or you're going to bump heads, pause, and it's going to be messing, it's going to mess something up. He was like, yeah. He was like, yeah, you right, he right. He was like, he old bro too. I was like, yeah. He was like, man, I was telling you that because I just ain't want, you know what I mean, nobody know where I got my stuff basically at. He was like, cause you know, he holding the stuff and everything. So I'm like, bro, listen, too much information. I said, but I get it though, man. I was like, bro, you know, it's your business, bro. I was just like, you know, the white boy owe me too. So like, just holler at your man, let him know that, He was like, yeah, I'm gonna holler at him. I said, look, don't sell him nothing else either, man. You know what I mean? I said, cause I ain't selling him nothing else. He was like, all right, bet, my bad, bro. I was like, no, I laughed it off kind of. I was like, nah, you good, bro. You know what I mean? He was like, all right, he turned back around, started talking. As he turned back around, I turned around this way. And when I see he wasn't looking my way no more, I was like, freaking prick. So boom. Talking about he ain't mean to lie. I mean, bro, it's all good, man. So I went back, me and my man tripped about that, spun some laps. It's like, yo, bro, told me he ain't mean to lie. That's crazy, man. But you know, that's how it be sometimes, man. Long as he let bro know not to sell him nothing and everything good, man. So like Thursday. So it's like Thursday or something like that. I want to say it's about Thursday. It's almost about the end of the week. So I'm sitting in the pod and I'm just chilling. And then out of nowhere, man, he was like, hey, look, the sergeant and people out there, they was like, look like they about to get a cart, look like somebody moving. I don't know what's going on. So I'm like, oh, I'm trying to see what's going on. Y'all know I'm dirty. I got the la-la too. I got a little bit of the la-la. I got some tobacco. I'm like, what they got going on in that hallway, bro? They were like, I don't know. Dude at the door like, I don't know. They just out there. You know what I mean? He was like, they opening up 31 slider now. I was like, they coming in here? He was like, nah, ain't nobody. He said, this slider just opened for 31. And he was like, oh, I think somebody moving over there. I was like, wow, they ain't coming in this pod though. He was like, nah. So everybody could start coming out. They said like, what's going on? I was like, yo, because everybody in there got jacks. You know what I mean? Everybody's super dirty. So they're like, yo, so everybody's saying what's going on. So he like, I see the young boy step back. He stepped back from the door. John say, bish. The John open up. I see the dude from the 804 coming in. He come in with his car. He like, he moving the cell right next to white boy Rob, y'all. So boom. I was like, I'm watching him. I'm like, I try to hit him with the thermal imagery. I was like, ding. That John was like, that John was fuzzy. That John was like, I was like, he's a Terminator? I was like, man, hold on, man. Time out, man. He moved with cell right next to Rob. I'm like, yo, it's wild, man. I'm like, this John crazy, but still though, like, you know, my money got to be a lot. I shouldn't have to go through nothing just because this man moved in the pod. So I didn't want to look at this like this was such a bad thing, but this man moved in the pod. You know what I mean? So I see him moving the joint right next to Rob. I didn't want to say nothing. He got his stuff together. He started coming out. He started hollering at the dudes from the 804. After he left from hollering at the dudes at 804, I seen him and Mike having a conversation. Then him and Mike was talking. I'm assuming Mike was telling him that, yo, listen, though, the white boy Rob owe Weezy too. So don't do nothing else with him. This is what I'm assuming he's telling this guy. Look, don't do no more business with him because he owe Weezy too, man. He owe Weezy, so don't do no more business because y'all both in the rear with him. And you know what I mean? Pause and da-da-da-da. I'm thinking this is what he telling him. So I see dude, you know what I mean? As I'm leaving, as I'm walking over this part of the pod, I see the dude, he do one of these jumps at me. Because I guess he didn't remember my name or he don't know me. He was like, I was like, what's up, bro? He was like, Weezy, right? I was like, he had a dumb way. He was like, Weezy, right? I was like, yeah, he was like, hey, Charlotte, look. Yeah, man. He was like, man, bro ain't even tell me that he sold you. He sold you something for, you know what I mean? You spent money with him. Because, you know, once I found out that white boy Rob owed me, I said, hold on. I said, what do you moved over here because he owe you? He was like, he made a devilish grin. He was like, nah, I came over here to kick it with Mike. Nah, that's why he just so happened to owe me. He was like, but nah, I didn't know that he sold you weight. Said, because if I knew somebody over here had weight, they was definitely gonna holler at white boy Rob. He said, as soon as bruh sent me his stuff, I went and hollered at white boy Rob the same day. I said, hold on, where'd you holler at him though? Same day bruh had got the stuff. I'm like, I said, man, so this man bought from both of us $500. He he owe you 500 too. He said, you owe me 600. He said, you owe you 500. I said, yeah. He said, you owe me 600. I'm like, I said, bro, listen, man, just don't sell him nothing else, man. He was like, man, I want my money. Like, for real, I want my money, man. I want my money. I said, man, listen, man, that man owe both of us, man. I said, but look, though, you know what, though? I said, we can't be in here clashing with ourselves. I said, because this was an error that we both made. We didn't know. You didn't know. I didn't know. This is all your man fault, for real. He was like, who? I was like, Mike. He said, how's his fault? I said, cuz, bro. I said, listen, I went to him right after I made the play with the white boy, and I asked him, what was he doing with his Hardee's chicken? You know what I mean? He told me he sent it to a dude on the other side of the yard. I said, when he told me he did that, I was assuming that I was the only dude in the building that had Hardee's chicken for sale. So I said I went on and sold bro a chunk for the 500 game. He was like, it makes sense, Shawty. I would have done the same thing. He was like, no, a white boy Rob told me he was trying to spend 3. Then he said he came back on a night shift, late night the other night, and got the 2. I was like, he came and got the 3 for me when he came on a night shift. He said he got 3 for you. He said, man, see? Then he came back that morning and got 1. He said, that's how he owed me 600. I'm like, man, white boy Rob was getting litty, y'all. So boom. This is crazy right here. I'm like, yo, I was like, nah, at the end of the day, though, I was like, he always paid me. I said, but I just ain't never been in a predicament where he owed like this, though, back to people. Like, he was like, yeah, that is weird, though. He was like, but no, I ain't got nothing else for him. You know what I mean? I ain't got nothing else for him, but he know I want my money. His eyes got like that. He was like, I want my money. You know what I mean? So I was like, bro, everything should be straight. So it was good getting on the same page with bro. And that's what the situation was, man. So, you know, what else could it be done? We got to wait for this money to get here. That's what we got to do, man. We got to wait for this bread. So I was like, I got to play the ball on this joint. I got to find out what's going on with white boy Rob. I was like, I know he said we a lot, but I don't like how that last conversation went, man. So I was like, I'm going to catch him, though. I already know how to catch him. I'm going to catch him when he don't go to child. I said, everybody going to child coming up. I said, I'm going to catch him then. So when they get ready to call dinner, I was like, I'm going to lay back. So I chilled. So I see him. He was walking to the hot water. I say, yo, white boy Rob. He was like, still looking spaced out. I was like, yo, come here, bro. He was like, he went and got his stuff. He came up steps. I went on in the cell. He came in the cell. He was like, what's up? I was like, hey, look, that's crazy, man. You owe 2 people, man. He was like, don't be mad at me, Weezy, man. He was like, man, look. Then look, man, I talked to my mom, man. Look, she said she only gonna have $600 for me, man. I said, look, you're not paying dude his money and not paying me nothing. He said, what if I give you 3 and get? I said, no. I said, no, bro. I said, nah, I'm not doing it. I said, because you owe too much. I said, your mom might cut you off. He was like, she probably do cut me off for a while, but like, one of yous ain't gonna pay. He went straight Italian on me. He was like, one of yous is not gonna get paid. I was like, one of yous is not gonna get paid. He was like, man, I mean, not this week anyway. I said, yo, look. I said, white boy Rob, man, listen, man. Ain't nobody tell you to act like this was a fucking street party, man. You was getting high like you was on a fucking street, man. I said, you always pay me my money, man. I said, man, give me my motherfucking money, bro. Stop playing with me, bro. I want my money, bro. I said, I ain't got nothing with the fuck dude. He said, man, look, well, you gotta fucking help me spend them there. I said, bro, I'm not helping you do shit. Fuck that, man. I said, you figure out a way to spend them, man. I said, I want my goddamn money. I said, you already hollered at him and let him know that only one portion was coming? He was like, partially. I said, man, how you gonna holler at him before me, man? I said, what's wrong with you, man? I said, man, you wildin', white boy Rob, man. I said, you tripping, bro. He was like, because I was thinking I could just give you 3 and give him 3. I said, no, bro. I want my freaking 5, bro, because I don't know when that other money gonna come through, bro. I ain't got time for that, man. Then I thought about it. I was like, shh. I was like, man, shh. So you say you gonna get both of us 3, though, man? He was like, I was like, man, listen, bro, no jokes, bro. Real talk, man. I want my bread, man. I like, when I'm gonna get the rest of my bread then, man? When I'm gonna get my other $200 then, man? He was like, as soon as I can get it, you gonna get it. Trust me. I said, bro, you up here copping on the low and doing all this other stuff, bro. Listen, bro, I want my bread, bro. Like, real talk, man. He was like, I'm gonna get it, man. I'm gonna get it. I said, man, all right, man. Give me the 3, man. You know what I mean? He was like, all right, you know what I mean? He dipped off. You know what I mean? He slid. Boom. So, whole time in the joint, I'm like, man, this joint crazy, man. I was just thinking about it. I'm like, man, I gotta take the short end of the stick, pause, because this dude copping from 2 people. This dude Mike fault for real, man. Like, Mike, this is all his fault, man. Like, this is your guy. Like, your guy didn't even know what was going on, bro. If you could communicate it right, then we wouldn't even be having this freaking problem, man. But this was bad communication right here on both ends, man. This dude owed both of us, man. So I'm just sitting there like, you know what, man, I'm gonna take this money, man. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is, man. So I go outside on Sunday. And I seen my man that's on the other side, my man that's in the other pod. So I told y'all my man Selly be rocking with the dude that's from Richmond, you know what I mean, that moved into our pod. So My man tell me, he was like, hey, look, man. He was like, for real though, bro. He was like, I think my celly slipped up, bro. He was like, he was drunk. Cause my homeboy, all he do is make the drinks. You know what I mean? His celly was getting a little paper over there too from the R. So, you know what I mean? He was like, yo, I don't know if he slipped up. But he was like, yo, for real though, man. He was like, yo, dude say he gonna take the numbers when he get his numbers. He gonna take all the numbers, he just gonna take his money. You know what I mean? He was like, he just gonna you know what I mean? So I was already thinking doing the same thing. But I was wondering how the repercussions was gonna be, which I didn't really care after I do something like that. But I was already thinking something like that. So the only thing I can think of when he was saying that was, man, that's crazy, man. Dude from the R is a maniac. But I like that though. I like that, y'all. So boom. I was thinking the same thing already. I was like, word? He was like, yeah. I was like, that's crazy, bro. I was like, man. I said, you know, white boy Rob came and told me the same thing. I said, look, dude got a jack. He was like, no, he ain't got no jack. I was like, so who he deal with in our party got a jack? He was like, he probably don't deal with nobody. He said, yeah, come over here to use the jack probably. Like, he got to come back to our party. He said, the dudes he know over here got a jack. I was like, man, you know what? Man, I was like, man, see, white boy Rob just did it to himself, man. I was like, man, I ain't trying to hit this shit, bro. I was like, I'm taking them down numbers, man. I was like, because he owe both of us, he got to deal with that shit, man. At the end of the day, I was like, for real, like that shit crazy. Then he was like, yo, look, he said the whole time, he was like, then the dude from the he owed some dudes over here for the Lala. He said he been coming over here buying the Lala, trying to trade the hottest chicken. He said they don't want the hottest chicken, they want the money. So he's saying he got them thinking that he gonna pay them on Monday, you know what I mean, when y'all supposed to get that bread. So my man put me all the way on point. So I'm like, yo, that's crazy. He was like, yeah, like, you know, bro was just talking out loud for real. Like, I was like, that's crazy. Gave the whole play up game, y'all. So boom. I was happy for the information. I was like, man, that's a bet. So I went back to the pod and I had to really think about what I was going to do tonight because tomorrow is when everything was going down. So I'm like, man, this is crazy right here. What I'm going to do? I was like, man, for real, man. I said, white boy Rob out back, man. I ain't trying to hit that, man. I said, he got to use my phone to get these numbers. So I said, ain't no other way for him to get the numbers, you know what I mean? So I was like, all right, that's what I'm going to do. So the dude from the Richmond, he didn't know I had a phone unless Mike told him. So I don't even think Mike told him I had a phone. Mike is basically neutral in this. He just messed up by not keeping us on the same page, which he didn't really give me his whole count. I'm not saying that, but like this was miscommunication at the end of the day. So like, I don't think the dude from Richmond knew I had a chat. So that's the advantage I had on him. So Monday roll around, we go to breakfast. After we come back from breakfast, we go outside rec that morning. After that joint, that's Mike know that's when I'm getting my jack. You know what I mean? Around that time, I'm getting my jack. So I see him, he looking at me, he like, hey, Weezy, hey, look, you gonna let me go? I was like, yeah, come to the cell. Come to the cell, man. So he came to the cell. So he come up to the joint, he was like, man, Weezy, man, it's my fault, man, for real, man. He was like, man, like, you know, the dude from Richmond's mad. He's mad for real, man. Like, he wanted all his money, man. I told him I was doing 3 and 3. He's fucking pissed, man. I was like, I thought you already had told him that. He was like, I was thinking he was going to agree with it like you did, man. It's fucking $300. I was like, shit, lying ass motherfucker, man. I was like, man, but this is what fiends do, though, man. They never going to give you the real count, y'all. So, boom. Keep going, motherfucker. What else you got to say? He was like, he's fucking pissed, dude. Like fuck it, dude. He's just going to have to accept this money. And, you know, goddamn. I'm like, shh. How the fuck this nigga through? I said, yo, how the hell this nigga was gonna rob this motherfucker anyway? Like, how the hell was he gonna do it? I said, look at this shit. I said, this motherfucker think he was gonna rob for all the damn numbers, and this nigga gotta come to my cell and use the damn phone. I said, I'll be a damn fool if I let Rob leave out this goddamn cell, goddamn with that motherfucking money, man. I was like, man, I'm taking my motherfucking money, man. So he got on the phone with his mom. He got the phone like this. He like, all right, what's the other one? All right. Yeah, I'm cool. I'm gonna need you again, Mom, cause yeah, we go to the canteen on the 1st, and don't fucking leave me out back. Come on, I'm gonna need you again after that too. Yeah, I'm gonna pay my debts today, and you know, I'm gonna start fresh. Yeah, okay. Love you too, Mom. I'm chilling. He was like, here, Weezy. I was like, all right. I snatched the goddamn number. He was like, what are you doing, Weezy? I said, man, get the fuck out my cell, Rob, man. I said, man, I don't got time for your shit, man. He was like, what are you doing? You just gonna fucking rob me? I said, man, listen, I'm not fucking playing with you. I mean, again, a mean, tough face. I was like, man, I'm not fucking playing with you, man. I said, man, get the fuck out my cell, man. He was like, well, you just gonna fucking rob me? I said, man, look, this shit is gone. I said, I owe you a fucking $100, and that's what I'm gonna fucking give you, man. I said, I'm gonna give you $100 change. You owe me $5. I'm gonna give you $100 fucking dollars. I'm not waiting on my money while you pay that other fucking lunatic, man. That motherfucker, fuck that shit. I said, I'm not waiting on that shit, man. Fuck that. I own my shit now. He said, I fucked up, Weezy, man. Now you leaving me in the. I said, I don't give a fuck. I said, what kind of position you left me in by copping from both of us like that, dickhead? You can't even pay both of us, stupid. He was like, I said, man, get the fuck out my cell, man. fuck wrong with you, man? He was like, that nigga left out. My word, he left out. I go to my phone. I was like, green dot. He took one of them. He took the other one. Hey, it was over with, y'all. So boom. God damn it. I go to the door now. I'm looking. I'm like, fuck this cream puff at. Fuck wrong with him. I look. He was talking to the dude from 804. He was like, the dude from 804 was like, kept looking up there. I come out the cell. I mean, my homeboy walk over there. He was like, Weezy, you good? I'm like, yeah, bro. Like, I had to goddamn buck on the white boy. He was like, for what? I said, because he owed both of us, bro. I said, dude was going to rob him and take all the damn money. I said, so I just took all the damn money. Now he got to deal with that shit. My homeboy was like, you a fucking psycho. I was like, bro, fuck that, man. Straight up, man. I said, that nigga wants some smoke behind that white boy on him, then that's on him. He got to deal with the fucking white boy. So he like, where the fuck my money at, Rob? Rob was like, he tried to explain some shit, so he tried to do hit his ass. Boom! Rob stopped rumbling his ass though. Boom, boom. They out the pod rumbling like, oh shit! They out that bitch rumbling. Boom, 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 boom. Niggas got them like, yo, chill. The lady that's sitting in the booth, she's looking over at 31 pod. She's not even looking at this shit. Word, the old head ran over that bitch. He grabbed a black dude, chill, because this black dude was his homeboy. Dude from Richmond, he like, he's snapping out. Wow, he snapping out, he grabbed me like, man, y'all chill. White boy Rob was like, what the hell is wrong with y'all? Y'all think y'all gonna do this? Yeah, he's snapping out. Dude was like, hey, go in the cell. Go in the cell, man. They went in the cell, my word, man. That man he put the beads on Rob ass. I didn't even see it, I heard it. Man, that man was fucking Rob up down that bitch. I was like, oh shit. I was like, man, fuck that, man. I ain't feel bad, y'all. I needed my goddamn money. I needed my money, y'all. And I took my money, man, my word. These niggas fight, he fucked Rob up. They didn't even go to the fucking hole. They didn't even go to the fucking hole. They come do lockdown. White boy Rob get away with the lockdown and everything. He all fucked up. I ain't seen his face yet, but they was saying he fucked Rob up. You know what I mean? So like, I guess the dudes in Richmond was like, yo, you ain't got no problem with Weezy. Weezy ain't do shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they probably already knew, like, yo, you was gonna take the fucking numbers. I think he was telling them, like, yo, why the fuck y'all ain't tell me he be using Weezy phone? Like, that was the whole issue, nigga. But I beat you to the punch. My word, I beat you to the punch, man. So Rob was fucked up downstairs. So that night, you know what I mean? I hollered at my peoples. I told them to get me $100 card, man. And my peoples went and got me $100 green dot. And I go down the steps. I go straight to white boy Rob's cell. I knocked on the door. He was like, I was like, come here, man. He was like, what do you want? I said, man, come here, man. He got up. I was like, here. I slid the Jones under the door. He was like, what's this? I was like, that's the $100 I owe you, man. He was like, I said, what you thought I was gonna buck on $100? I took my $500, Rob. He was like, I said, bro, you can't make a way how you gonna pay me, man. I want my money that I sold you to stay. He was like, sell me something for this 100. I was like, after all this, you still want some Hardee's chicken? He was like, I was like, nah. I dipped off. When I dipped off, the dude from Richmond was coming to the door. By the time I got over by the microwave, I looked, dude from Richmond was picking up something off the ground. So I guess white boy Rob gave him that $100 and that bought him some time. And then eventually down the line, he ended up paying dude, man. But I had to get mine off the top. Pause. Y'all already know it, man. I had to get mine, and that's what it was, man. Like, he left Rob alone after that. White boy Rob stayed in the pod for a while. He ended up moving to 80 building, still doing the same activities, doing what he do, man. And life goes on. And that was wild that he ended up owing both of us like that, man. That was crazy, man. But that was a crazy situation. Well, that's the end of the damn story, though, y'all. Man, I appreciate y'all for watching, man. Y'all already know the count, man. Please stay out the way out here, man. Your peoples need you on the street. They don't need you in the jail. They need you in the street, man. So stay out the way, y'all. Period. But y'all already know what it is, man. You know what I need you to do with this video? Turn this one up, y'all. Like, share, subscribe as well, y'all. Let's get it. Let's go. But be safe out there, y'all. And stay your ass out the way.
Get your money, don't care who judge. Stay out the way, surround yourself with nothing but love. Stay out the way, if you a gangster, killer or thug. Stay out the way, put your faith in the man above. Stay out the way, chill with your family, siblings and blood. Stay out the way, kick it with your girl, forget hit in the club. Stay out the way, mind on your money, ain't no switching it up. Stay out the way, stand out the way, what you thought that it was. Stay out the way, if you stuck down on your luck, not feeling righteous. Did a petty crime, just looking for some excitement. Now your name on affidavits and court indictments. Get paid for a lot, but your freedom is priceless. You did the crime, you do the time, don't let it surprise you. Real stories from the heart, just to open your eyes up.